Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today we visit the toy department at Sweet Memories Vintage, and I prepare savory tuna pasta with ingredients from your pantry. But first, Youngstown High School students prepare for a fiesta. Dr. Ramos teaches Spanish and is an advisor at Youngstown Rayon Early College. To engage her scholars, she has created an inclusive quinceañera. Traditionally, this Hispanic celebration honors girls when they turn 15 and begin womanhood. For this year's quinceañera, Dr. Ramos has 20 girls and 20 boys from different backgrounds preparing for their gala. The students wear formal attire when they are presented, and a dance will be performed. I attended a practice and watched the dance lesson for the upcoming event. This is Dr. Ramos, and she is the one who created this. And how many years did you say this has been going on?
We've been doing it for 8 years.
Why did you want to introduce this to your children?
Okay. I teach Spanish at every level, but teaching the language and the culture doesn't suffice.
Right.
They need a hands-on experience. So I started doing the quinceañera, and kids were willing to learn about it and the culture and the origins of it. And we ended up doing the dance and the waltz. And the administrator, Mrs. Jones, she said, I'll help out. She supported me 100%. And then I had some other staff members that said, we're with you, just go ahead and do it. And I have been doing it. I started in 2017, I think it was, up to now.
We have a mutual friend in Kristen from Diva Donations,
yes.
And she's the one who told me about this. So when a girl turns 15, this is a celebration. What is behind that, that tradition?
This started 5 BC with the Aztecs, the Mayas, and the Incas. And it was celebrating when a young girl, transitions from puberty into womanhood.
Okay.
And they they used to teach them the role of the woman, how they had to act, what was their role in society. However, when the Europeans came in, they added to it. So Catholicism came in, so they adapted the Mass, the religious part, before the celebration, honoring the girls. And eventually, because the Europeans believed in the kings and queens and being elegant, they added to it also the portion where they learned the waltz. They had the very elegant dresses.
Wow.
And it has,
it's grown and
grown to up to date now, that is emerged into a modern and traditional. So It has both parts, depending on how the child opts to celebrate the birthday.
This is not just for 15-year-old girls.
No, it's not, because I want all students, and we call them our scholars because our school is an advanced school, to partake of the activity, of the experience. So I opened it up to any child between 13 and 18 that are still in our school.
It doesn't look like you have a problem with takers.
No.
And the boys, the boys probably really blossom after this, and they get more comfortable with girls. And, not everybody knows how to dance like this.
They come in not knowing nothing about dance at all.
Right.
And eventually they start acclimating to what I teach them. And I have my helper, one of my girls, that has been in quinceañera for a while, and she loves it. And the kids do love what they're doing. It's not like I have to do this. No, they come in as a volunteer.
So this is Fernando, and he is also taking part in the quinceañera ball. And you guys are doing a great job out there.
Thank you.
Why did you choose to get involved in this?
So I am from Puerto Rico, and this is an event that is celebrated a lot in Puerto Rico, so I decided to join as well.
Now, I know Mrs. Ramos has a different spin on it, because I think it's nice. It's much more inclusive.
Yes.
And I know it's usually for, Hispanic, Latino girls turning 15. So the boys get involved because then you become what, their escorts.
At first, it was a little bit strange because usually it's for Latinos, but Miss Ramos has made it very inclusive so that everyone is able to participate and see what it's like.
And are you getting to be a better dancer?
Yes.
Are you? I mean,
Yes.
did you know how to dance?
Not really.
I know, because nobody has the dance lessons anymore, the waltz, the foxtrot. But I think, I was watching you. You were doing a really good job.
Thank you.
And are you really looking forward to this?
Yes, I am. It's my first time too.
It's the first time?
Yes.
And can you repeat this and do it again if you wanted?
Yeah, I would.
Cool.
Next year as a sophomore.
All right. Well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Nellie is also involved with the ball, but you are such a good dancer. You're helping Mrs. Ramos, out there with teaching.
Yeah, they come up to me, they ask me, hey, how's this going? I just, let them know.
And I mean, I thought you were one of the teachers. I'm like, wow, that's so nice that she's volunteering her time to help the kids, but you're one of the participants.
Yes, I'm a junior here.
Are you?
Yep.
And what made you sign up this year?
Well, my sister really, Shalana, she's been in it since freshman year, and she's a year older than me. So I've done every single quince Miss Ramos has held with her.
And I hear your dress is gorgeous.
Big, white, poofy, and that's not even with the hoop skirt underneath.
And you're gonna add the hoop skirt.
Yes.
You're gonna look like somebody from Gone with the Wind. You're gonna be like, right there, Scarlett O'Hara. Well, I can't wait. We're gonna go to the ball. And I can't wait to see your dress. Well, Mrs. Macklin, I saw you out there cracking the whip on these kids. So you know the dance pretty well.
Yes, Miss Ramos Dr. Ramos, she's outstanding. And we take them step by step and keep adding and adding and adding. And the children are very receptive and they're catching on very quick to the steps, because typically we would have maybe, I'll say 2 hours with them. Well, now with the busing, we're a little shorter on time.
Yeah.
But these kids have caught on and I'm like impressed.
I mean, they really are, right now they're nervous.
Right.
But I think the night out there's going to be smiles and I think they'll enjoy it. Right now they're all worried about messing up. Everyone's excited, the girls with the dresses, so I can't wait to see it.
They all look so debonair. The dresses are beautiful. The girls they are elegant. The guys are just phenomenal. It's a wonderful night, and I think there's a change in the air even when they finish with this. There's a change even in the air here at the school.
Right.
Relationships grow from this. It's wonderful.
What is the difference you see before the ball and all the the practicing and all that, and afterwards?
When they start, they're shy, they're insecure, they think that they're going to do it wrong. Once they're in front of the people, the audience, and they're performing, they forget that. They're
more confident.
Confident, and they enjoy every part of it.
When I want local flavor, I watch the Casey Malone Show.
Rulli Brothers is way ahead of the competition. Check out Rulli Spice World, where you can buy bulk herbs and spices, plus candies, nuts, and fillings for pennies on the dollar. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
This is GABA Camp, an all-inclusive resort campground for our friends with disabilities. We're not done. Let's help our friends with disabilities. We need additional cabins and a lodge. Donate now, gabacamp.com. Giving is living.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
Hey Todd, what brings you in today?
It's time to propose. All of our friends are getting married.
She wants to get married. I love her more than anything in the world, and I can't live without her.
Well, you've come to the right place. We have the biggest selection, the best brands, and the most competitive pricing in the area.
And what about like a used discount?
Get real, get Kamara.
Shop C-Max Northside Appliance in Struthers, the local appliance store that beats big box prices every day.
3 generations serving Youngstown, Ohio, soon to be our 4th.
You better come on in my kitchen.
Well, I am going to make savory tuna pasta. And this dish comes together so quickly, you won't believe it. Actually, the sauce will be done before the pasta's done boiling. Use a thin noodle, a spaghetti or something like that. But the real magic with this dish is the tuna fish. Go up a little bit. The Genova, this is a yellowfin tuna and it's in olive oil. It goes between $2.50, $3.50 a can. But this is the secret sauce because what you do is drain the tuna. I've already done it. And it comes to about 1/2 cup of olive oil. And you just drain that, and that is what we're gonna use as the olive oil in the pan, and it really adds a great flavor. There's capers, there's anchovies, garlic, red pepper flakes. I mean, this is a really savory pasta, and I absolutely love it. So let's go to the stove, we'll drop the pasta, and get this sauce going. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of spaghetti, 3 to 4 5-ounce cans of tuna in olive oil, drained and reserve the oil, 5 cloves of garlic chopped, 4 anchovy fillets chopped, or 2 teaspoons of anchovy paste, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of capers chopped, zest and juice from 2 lemons, and 1/2 cup of chopped fresh parsley. You're not gonna believe how quickly this pasta comes together. Right now I've dropped it. I'm going to cook it till al dente because it's gonna go directly into the pan. So right now this is about 1/2 cup of the oil that we got from the pans, or the cans rather. And so we've got this and we're gonna warm it up a little bit over medium heat. You don't want it to be real hot, but the flavor that this brings to this dish, you're gonna lose your mind. And then of course the chopped anchovies, which I love. I like the anchovies on the pizza. I don't understand why people don't like them. And the chopped garlic. Of course, garlic goes good on everything. And last but not least, the red pepper flakes. Now this does add heat. So if you aren't a heat fan, you can leave that alone. So I'm gonna let this go down to low, and we are just gonna keep stirring it, and we wanna make sure that we don't brown the garlic. We don't mind if it's a little gold, but we really don't want it to turn, because that so quickly can happen. Now you can see we don't have a whole lot of liquid. You know, we've got the oil here, we've got the lemon juice, and when you drain this pasta, before you add it to this dish, make sure you save a cup of the pasta water, because that starchy water will help loosen up the pasta sauce if you need to. Always good to do that. And this is when all these flavors are really gonna meld together. And now don't forget to add the capers. Now what we're gonna do is toss this and make sure we get it coated with the oil. And this is when you evaluate to see if you need the pasta water or if it looks slick enough and glossy enough, you know, to spread out over all these noodles. I think it needs a little pasta water. Just a little bit, and I did save some. I would say 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup. And you just add that to the dish and mix it further. So it continues to cook. So that's why you do the noodles al dente. And now comes the flavors. We've got the zest from 2 lemons, the juice from 2 lemons. And remember, we're over medium heat. We add that, and now we add the star of the show, the tuna. Now be careful when you add this, because we're gonna mix it up. And you don't want to break it up too much, but you gotta, distribute it evenly, but you don't want it all shredded. So here we go. Now we are gonna mix this all together. Oh, look at that. Hey, if you really like capers, you can add more. You can adjust the seasonings, and instead of topping, kind of want this parsley to be cooked in with it. Now, right before we serve it, it's all together, and you just want to check the seasonings. Now, we've got the anchovies in there, we've got the tuna, so there is a lot of salt, sodium. Might need some freshly ground pepper, so let's do that, and then we are going to serve this dish. It is fabulous. Well, when I started messing around with this recipe, I knew you were gonna love it.
Yes.
The anchovies, the capers, the canned tuna.
You find all of those in my swimming pool.
Right, I mean, you can keep these forever. When I was in college, I used to bring like those little cans of smoked oysters and stuff. I like tin food, I think it's pretty good. So let's try this.
Great, yeah.
I think it's got a nice punch.
All right.
I'm anxious to see how you like it.
Plenty of garlic.
Oh, lots of garlic. And you can always add more. Remember, this is a
versatile
very versatile recipe. All right, I'm trying to be a lady with this, but it is hard to eat spaghetti.
I love everything in there.
The lemon, the heat, it's not heavy. I mean, this is a great dish.
It's beautiful.
Yep, I mean, just keep that stuff stocked. I mean, the only thing is the lemons and the parsley.
And also keep your wine stocked. So I have an Italian Merlot.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Usually, you don't drink red with seafood. But
Red
I
with
think
anything.
this dish has so much punch that it is worthy of a red wine. This is good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some more of that.
All right.
Thanks for
Me
inviting
too.
me.
I know you haven't been on for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so this savory tuna pasta, the recipe will be on my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. Get this recipe. You are going to love it. Cheers.
Cheers.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Hi, I'm Robbie Fellman.
And I'm John Stanko from Boardman Subaru.
Subaru is the best-selling all-wheel drive brand in America for the last 10 years.
And rated #1 in safety for 4 years in a row.
Come and see the legendary Subaru Forester, all new and fully redesigned for 2025.
Or check out the 7-passenger Subaru Ascent, a top-ranked 3-row SUV according to Motor Trend.
Award-winning vehicles and award-winning service.
Only at Boardman Subaru, just south of Route 224 on South Avenue.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank, and that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too, and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid. Locally owned, Hurricane Health and Wellness will help you weather the storm of your weight loss struggles. Safe and discreet, our experienced telemed team will prescribe the proper weight loss medication. Powerful weight loss solutions. Hurricane Health and Wellness. Well, you remember Linda Barton from Sweet Memories Vintage, and it was all began with the t-shirt, the Good Humor t-shirt.
Yep.
And you see how it's expanded. And we're here doing a little update because things have really turned around even more. But before we go there, you are about to present a check.
So $5 off every t-shirt benefits charities. So our Isley's ice cream and candy lines all benefit Akron's Children's NICU Clinic. And just last year alone, we raised over $22,000 for them, bringing our total since COVID to $47,000.
That is unbelievable. And I mean, 25 is a very fair price. And then, you know, 5 of it goes right here in our community.
Yep.
But you can't just stop it. You can't help yourself, can you?
No, I get
It's the candy bug, so she gets all these crazy candies that we can't find that are retro. And now you have bought the whole other unit right next door, and we have gone crazy in Toyland.
I realized that as people are in the store, they're talking about all the memories that they had,
Right.
you know, with candy. And I remember someone saying, oh, I remember, you know, Friday night I used to play Parcheesi, and, you know, we used to eat these snacks and this and that. And then I just thought natural transition is toys.
Ta-da! This is the big reveal. Is it just as much work to go after all these old retro toys and games as it was to find those, you know,
It was
vintage
harder.
candies?
It was much harder because with the candy side, I was wholesaling my t-shirts to candy stores all over the United States. So I already had relationships with candy stores, and they were directing me where they got this, where they got that. There aren't any independent toy stores around anymore. There was no one to really network with. So I went online and I researched the top 10 most popular toys per decade, going back to 1940, put it in a Google spreadsheet. I decided in August I was gonna open a toy store. So I did this in September, then I went to New York to the toy show, and I was like, what do you have on this list? And if you don't have it, who does? And I spent a week in New York, and then we opened in November. It was really interesting because after I explained to a lot of these, you know, companies, I'm like, listen, like, I'm opening a toy store as an addition to my candy store, and I have licensing with Good Humor and Unilever and Breyers and Popsicle. And, you know, and after I'm going down the list of the 75 different brands, and they took me more seriously, but it was just really, they're like, oh, well, you have to be prepared to spend $1,000. I'm like, I was prepared to spend $200,000, but, you know, like, you know, it was very demeaning. So it was kind of a challenge, and I think that was one of the first times, you know, as a buyer in that situation that, you know, I was like,
I had to put on your big girl pants and say,
like,
hey, man.
women own business. I was like Rosie Riveter, you know.
Yeah. What would have been one of the harder games or puzzles or things that you really had the most trouble getting?
I haven't found strawberry shortcake dolls because they don't make them, and but they're going to be coming out, and that was one of the things that I wasn't even. Like her prototypes were behind a curtain. I wasn't even allowed in, you know, so that's one of the things that's interesting is like how they, you know, all the big buyers have to come in first. They buy up their containers, and then after mass market buys, then they let the specialty markets buy.
But that is a very fond memory for a lot of people.
Strawberry shortcake, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And the original Slinky, you know, I found that.
That is cool.
Yeah, I found Shrinky Dinks, which you really can't find.
My sisters and I used to make those all the time.
And a lot of the board games that we have, these are the retro packaging. So, and even with the Operation one that we have, there's the vintage one, the nostalgic version, and then they have the newer version that's like cartoon characters and things. So I really tried to stay, you know, original to the packaging.
More authentic, yeah. Do you think, you know, that you might have been born in the wrong era? Do you think maybe you should have been born, you know, in the 50s and 60s? Because you really have such a good knowledge and a good eye for all these things I'm here. And it is memory overload. Everything I'm looking at, you know, I was telling you my sister smashed a Etch-a-Sketch over my head. It's here.
A lot of people in the community are really passionate about supporting our store.
Right.
And, you know, just for an example, we had a guy that came in over the weekend and he donated to me the original Evel Knievel. We sell Evel Knievel here, but he wanted to donate something. And so all around the store, I have things that are up on the shelves where people just come in and they donate stuff because
like
they want to be.
museum.
Yeah, and I thought it was super cool, but you know, people really love to come in.
This is in really good shape. Very cool. What a cool guy. That was really
Jay
nice.
Shunk. Yeah, I was really.
Thanks, Jay. That was very cool. I'm giving you a hot tip. Beanie Babies are back. So they are back and they're doing the limited edition stuff.
So they release 3 new retro ones every 2 months. So.
And are you seeing the collectors coming in and are they collecting them just like they used to?
It's crazy. I just shipped out 10 Beanie Babies the other day.
And how are the puzzles going? Because you've got a ton of puzzles.
So, we've moved the puzzles around because there's been so many, but, we have all the vintage ads ones. Like, this is my favorite things my parents used to say.
Right,
It's like, don't make me, don't make me turn
this car around.
Right? So, but we sell a lot of the White Mountain puzzles. We also have the 3D puzzles, and we moved it over by the Legos because we were finding that people that buy Legos also are
like those puzzle people.
So, and what's crazy is like when you think about those memories, like you think about who you were with. It's not even the toy.
Right.
It's, oh, I remember I used to play puzzles with my Aunt Ida. She would come over and I would come out with my little puzzle and she'd, so it's not about the toy, it's about the memories you created with the people that you love that were in your life.
You've got Gumby and Pokey, you've got all these action, and this is the pop culture wall. And you are just gonna go down memory lane again and again. I can't believe all the stuff you have. The Marvel characters.
This is this one was one of our most popular.
Emotional support
chickens. Yeah.
You know what, I can't do this place justice. I'm just telling you, you've gotta come out and see it for yourself to believe it. You're gonna eat good candy, drink excellent soda pop, and die in toy heaven. I really appreciate it, Linda. This place is awesome. For more information regarding any content from our show, please visit our website, CaseyMaloneShow.com. Your comments and ideas are appreciated. The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.